Once upon a time, in a small village called Kijiji, there was a bustling marketplace where villagers sold all sorts of goods. Every day, people would gather to buy fruits, vegetables, and handmade crafts. Among the many stalls, there was one owned by a man named Bantu. Bantu was a meat seller, and everyone in the village loved his tasty meat. But there was a dark secret behind Bantu's delicious meat that no one knew. Bantu had a fierce look with a thick mustache and piercing eyes. He always wore a red cap that made him look different from other sellers. His stall was always the busiest because his meat was the juiciest and the most flavorful. People would line up from morning till night to buy from him. One day, a young boy named Kofi went to the market with his mother. Kofi was curious and loved to explore. While his mother was buying vegetables, Kofi wandered off and found himself in front of Bantu's stall. He watched as Bantu skillfully cut and wrapped pieces of meat for his customers. "Hello, young one," Bantu said with a wide grin. "Would you like to taste some meat?" Kofi hesitated but nodded. Bantu handed him a small piece, and as soon as Kofi took a bite, his eyes widened with delight. It was the best meat he had ever tasted. "You like it, don't you?" Bantu asked. Kofi nodded eagerly. As Kofi returned to his mother, he couldn't stop thinking about Bantu's meat. He begged his mother to buy some, and she finally agreed. From that day on, Kofi and his family bought meat from Bantu every week. But strange things began to happen in the village. Animals started to disappear. First, it was the chickens, then goats, and even cows. The villagers were worried and confused. They couldn't understand where their animals were going. One evening, Kofi heard a noise outside his window. He peeked out and saw Bantu sneaking around with a large sack. Curious and a little scared, Kofi decided to follow him. He tiptoed quietly, making sure not to be seen. Bantu led him to a dark forest at the edge of the village. Kofi hid behind a tree and watched as Bantu opened the sack and pulled out a squirming goat. With a swift motion, Bantu tied the goat to a tree and whispered strange words. The goat stopped moving and fell silent. Kofi's heart pounded in his chest. He realized that Bantu was the reason for the disappearing animals. He was stealing them and using some sort of magic to make his meat so delicious. Kofi knew he had to tell the village elders, but he was scared Bantu would find out. The next morning, Kofi gathered his courage and went to see the village elders. He told them everything he had seen. The elders were shocked and decided to confront Bantu. They went to his stall, but Bantu was nowhere to be found. His stall was empty, and all the meat was gone. The villagers searched for Bantu, but he had disappeared without a trace. They found the spot in the forest where Kofi had seen him, but there was no sign of the goat or any other animals. It was as if Bantu had vanished into thin air. Days turned into weeks, and the villagers tried to forget about Bantu. But the mystery of the disappearing animals haunted them. Kofi, however, couldn't let it go. He knew there was more to Bantu's story, and he was determined to uncover the truth. One night, Kofi had a strange dream. He saw Bantu standing in front of a large cave, holding a lantern. The cave was deep and dark, and Kofi felt a chill run down his spine. He woke up with a start and knew what he had to do. Kofi decided to find the cave from his dream. He believed it held the key to Bantu's secret. With a small bag of supplies, he set off early in the morning. He followed the path through the forest, looking for any signs of the cave. Hours passed, and Kofi was about to give up when he saw something glinting in the sunlight. It was a piece of Bantu's red cap caught on a branch. Excited and scared, Kofi followed the trail, and soon he found the entrance to the cave. The cave was dark and eerie. Kofi took a deep breath and stepped inside. The air was damp and cold, and strange sounds echoed through the cavern. He walked deeper, his heart pounding with every step. As Kofi ventured further, he heard a faint whispering sound. He followed the sound until he reached a large chamber. There, in the middle of the chamber, was Bantu, chanting and surrounded by glowing symbols on the ground. Kofi watched in horror as Bantu performed his dark magic. Suddenly, Bantu stopped and turned around. He saw Kofi and sneered. "You shouldn't have come here, boy," Bantu growled. "Now you will join the others." Kofi's mind raced. He needed to escape and warn the village. But just as Bantu reached for him, a bright light filled the chamber. The symbols on the ground glowed even brighter, and Bantu screamed in pain. Kofi watched in amazement as the light grew stronger, enveloping Bantu. The cave shook, and Kofi stumbled back, barely keeping his balance. Bantu's screams echoed through the cavern, and then there was silence. When the light faded, Bantu was gone. The symbols on the ground had disappeared, and the cave was dark once more. Kofi knew he had to get out and tell the villagers what had happened. He ran back to the village as fast as he could. Out of breath and covered in dirt, he burst into the elders' meeting hall and told them everything. The villagers were astounded and grateful to Kofi for his bravery. The mystery of Bantu and the disappearing animals was finally solved. The villagers returned to their normal lives, but they never forgot the brave boy who had uncovered the truth. Kofi became a hero in Kijiji, and his story was told for generations. But deep in the forest, a faint whispering sound could still be heard from the cave. The villagers knew that Bantu's dark magic had been powerful, and they wondered if his spirit still lingered, waiting for a chance to return. The story of the evil meat seller teaches us the importance of bravery, curiosity, and standing up for what is right. Kofi's courage to investigate and uncover Bantu's dark secret, despite his fear, highlights the value of confronting wrongdoings to protect the community. It also underscores the need for vigilance and the willingness to take action when something seems amiss, reminding us that even the smallest individuals can make a significant difference when they act with integrity and determination. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. I will see you in my next video. Bye.